Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about what happens when your teen turns 18. It's a big birthday, both for your teen, but also for you. Your parent rights will change, pretty much disappear when your teen turns 18, because in most states, this is the age of majority. We'll talk about all of that in a second, but hi, I'm Melanie from Parenting High Schoolers, and I come on YouTube every week to talk to parents about ways to help their teens through these crazy years. I give some self-help for parents, but a lot of it is just advice on college admissions, college and life prep, choices your teen can make that aren't college. Today's topic again is how to deal with your teen turning 18. So I would love it if you would subscribe below, give me a thumbs up, and listen here for the 6 things that I will talk about when your teen turns 18. First of all, you need to know about a form called FERPA, especially if your teen is still in high school when they turn 18 or going to college. I'm not sure if it's true in trade schools and apprenticeships, but I'm guessing it probably is, and you need to ask. So FERPA, F-E-R-P-A, stands for Family Educational Right and Privacy Act. So basically it's a form to protect your child, or who is now legally considered an adult. It's all of the educational pieces of information about your child. It could include disciplinary actions. It could include report cards, contact and family info, schedules, all of that stuff. If you want access to it, and in our case, because we paid tuition, we wanted access to it for our 2 boys that have already gone to college. Then when you're signing all the paperwork, this is something you may need to look for. They may not just hand it to you. So look for the FERPA, F-E-R-P-A, and be sure that you, and I think just your child signs it actually. And this will give you access to all that educational information that you may or may not want to have. Your student does have to sign it in order for you to have access to these things. There are a few exceptions, but it is up to the school, and I would not count on this. Get that signed by your teen. HIPAA. We all know what HIPAA is. We've all been to the doctor's office. But what it stands for is the Health Information Portability Accountability Act. It's a big mouthful, but basically, again, it's protecting your child, who's now considered an adult, their rights to their medical information. One thing we've told both of our boys that are past 18 now, is anytime you go to the doctor and you sign the HIPAA, which typically has to be done, especially if they're going to a new doctor, they need to also say that we, the parents, can have access to their medical information. Why is this important? Well, because if something were to happen, if your child were in a wreck, or if your child were to be in an accident, as far as I hate to say it, but like a school shooting or some sort of circumstance that is creating a health emergency for your child, if you don't have your name on the HIPAA, or your child has not signed this, that you have access, then that's a problem. The other thing I would highly recommend you doing or getting for your teen is a medical power of attorney. And so in the blog post that I'm linking this to, I give a great resource for this. And you need to consider, if your child is going away to school, getting a power of attorney for them for that state, wherever that is, and where you live if they're different. Well, highly recommend this. You need to scan it into your phone or somewhere online so you have immediate access. I would also suggest that you send a paper copy with your child to wherever they're going. I also have a paper copy in a file for each of my kids, that if something were to happen, I could just grab it and run. Another thing that my kids have struggled with is they really need to memorize their social security number. This will come in handy in not just medical situations, but job applications and college applications. They need to know their social security number. I myself have it written in a secret place for each of the 3 of them when I need to know it, because I do not have theirs by memory. But they need to memorize their own social security number. This will help a lot, especially in medical situations. And one aside, I had a friend whose son had appendicitis, and she could not gain access to anything going on with him until after the fact, because there was not a medical power of attorney. So get that. Okay, for guys, the third thing they need to think about is selective service. This is not applicable to girls at this point, but when a guy turns 18, they have a month. They have 30 days to sign up for selective service. If they don't do it, it's just could be up to a $250,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison. It is required, even if they're a conscientious objector. It has to be done. That can all be dealt with later. Number 4. In most states, 18 is the age of majority, meaning they're considered an adult. Oh, there are lots of things that are fun about that, but there are also serious things to consider. Number 1, if they are convicted of a crime, they will be convicted as an adult and they can serve time in prison, which before 18 was not necessarily true. They can be sued. Sex. This is a hard one. Let's say you have an 18-year-old son or daughter and they are dating someone that's 17. Even if they've been dating for 3 years, if that dating partner decides that they don't like what's going on, your child there are ramifications for dating someone younger. So they really need to be careful because they could be accused of statutory rape, among other things. Sexting, that equals pornography when you're 18. It's very serious before you're 18, but you can be convicted and tried and all of that. So sex and sexting, be sure you have these talks with your teen about the seriousness of these topics. Number 5, this is a great time to talk to your kids about investing. I have a great resource in the blog post, again, that I'm linking to, that this is a great time for your kids to see what does compound interest mean and set up some investment accounts and start really saving their money, because the earlier they start saving, the better. Our kids started before 18, but I would say if your kids have not, this is a great time to get started. If you're liking this information, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I've got one more tip. In this post that I'm linking to, I also have great birthday ideas for your child if they're turning 18. It's a fun age and they become so much more independent just from that number. Be there with them, help them through these transitions. Be aware of what's going to happen both to you and to your teen as they turn 18. These are all super important topics. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week with another tip.